Now at 9, how one fraternity on campus is raising money by stepping in and sleeping out.
A discussion held tonight about inclusivity within Ball State's Theater and Dance Department. Find out what topics were talked about.
And a settlement in the 2015 lawsuit involving former President Donald Trump and his team was made when it was decided.
And heartbreaking evidence added to the Uvalde school shooting investigation. We have the latest.
I'm tracking above average temperatures plus another morning of AM fog. I'll have that and more coming up.
Delaware County's only live television newscast from Ball State University's Unified Media Newsroom. You're watching Newslink, Indiana.
Good evening and thanks for being with us. I'm Alex Almanza.
And I'm Rebecca Rosado.
And now we start tonight with a group on campus working to help the community. Newslink, Indiana's Catherine Segal has the latest.
Donate to the homeless. We're out here for 24 hours.
Venmo, cash, canned food, clothes, hygiene products.
This gives me empathy to be like, okay, how can I help this person? Because like there might be a reason they're really out here.
Empathy, something Martin describes as putting yourself in somebody else's shoes.
We rough it. We try to make it as like actual as possible. So like most of us will get chairs, like use some chairs, put our heads on the table. But we typically don't sleep around until like 3 a.m. because it's high energy.
One new member in Phi Beta Sigma sleeping out for the first time.
I really didn't know what to think of it at first, but being here now, like, it seems like fun. And fun to like be out here with my brothers, of course, like doing something that not everyone does.
Broadening his viewpoint.
Something kind of to brag about because like we're really making a difference, and like I'm happy that I can be a part of that difference.
To put a smile on other people's faces.
You never know, like it could genuinely like impact other people's day and like make them better. And honestly, like that's the best feeling in the world, to be honest.
Empathy brought out in community.
We're all here. It's a full-fledged effort.
You may have seen some more reels on campus today. Ball State's food delivery robots have officially began taking food to students and faculty across the university. Take a look. President Mearns was the first to receive a delivery of donuts this morning. Tune in tomorrow night at 9 for more information on just how these robots will work. And you know, Alex, I hope those robots are equipped for snow. I know it's getting a little bit later into November, so I hope they're ready for that.
Yeah, I hope so. And talk about Meals on Wheels. Jack, what's in store for our six-wheeled friends?
Well, at least for the first little bit here of November, they're going to do quite well because we're going to be above average for the first bit of the month here. But taking a step outside, right now we're going to be in the middle 50s. So here in Muncie, it will be 55 degrees, 56 in Indianapolis, and 57 in Terre Haute. Next 12 hours, we will be cooling down just a little bit into the upper 40s though, so if you are planning on going out tonight, be sure to grab that jacket because it is a little cool out there. And then what we're tracking ahead is we're tracking another morning of that dense fog like we've seen all week. We are tracking another chance of rain on Saturday, and those warm temps will continue. I'll have that and more in my full forecast.
Thank you, Jack. The Inclusive Excellence Subcommittee led a town hall meeting for students today to talk about concerns and issues students of color are facing in the Department of Theater and Dance. The committee consists of students who work closely with faculty to talk about issues in the department and to empower students to speak up. Topics included problems of inclusion, experiences in class, productions, and diversity. Even if you couldn't come out tonight, subcommittee member Miles Keys encourages students to continue to raise their voices.
You are very much comfortable with saying whatever's on your mind to wherever the issue took place, then do that. And we encourage students in a respectful and productive manner, obviously, to do just that.
They work together to come up with solutions to bring awareness to faculty on what needs improvement.
Now in your national news, the White House deleted a tweet today that attributed the increase in Social Security checks this year to, quote, President Biden's leadership without mentioning the role of inflation, acknowledging the tweet, quote, did not have that context. The tweet was addressed by White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre.
The tweet was not complete. Usually when we put out a tweet, we posted with context, and it did not have that context. We believe that if we want to lay our argument out fully, and that was important to do as we put out information like that, or as we put out a tweet, and that was an incomplete tweet. So we do think it is important to do.
Former President Donald Trump and his company have settled a lawsuit with a group of protesters who allege they were assaulted by his security in front of Trump Tower in New York. The group filed a suit in 2015 accusing the former head of Trump's security of hitting one of them in the head while they were demonstrating against Trump's anti-immigration statements. The lawsuit was delayed for years due in part to Trump's presidency, but delays were lifted and the lawsuit was headed to trial. The two sides reached the settlement on the third day of jury selections. Now, details about the settlement have not been made public.
Now, parents in Uvalde, Texas are reacting to newly obtained 911 calls that shows their daughter calling for help as a gunman opened fire at Robb Elementary this past May. Now, in the call, which we do want to warn you is difficult to hear, the young girl begs the operator to, quote, please hurry, as she's trapped in one of the classrooms. Excerpts from the 911 call are being played here with the approval of the girl's parents, and as Yvonne Rodriguez reports, the calls are crucial to understanding the full scope of what some claim that law enforcement failed to do that day.
Hello? I'm calling with the police. Are you okay? No, there's a school shooting.
Moments after a gunman entered Robb Elementary School on May 24th, shooting survivor Chloe Torres called 911, a call that should have ended any doubt that the gunman was an active threat.
I'm in classroom. What's the classroom number? 1012. 112. 112. 112, yes, ma'am.
What's your name, ma'am?
Chloe Torres, please hurry. There's a lot of dead bodies.
376 law enforcement personnel responded to the school. It took authorities 40 minutes after Chloe called until a strike team confronted the gunman. The shooter was left for a total of 77 minutes. The Department of Public Safety acknowledges mistakes were made, including the response time, but insists the department as a whole did not fail the community.
Just no words can describe the feeling.
Chloe's parents are speaking out after hearing her pleas for help.
The officers didn't want to go in because they said we're waiting for armor or backup. You know, all the kids didn't have backup in there. Nobody had armor in there.
Although her daughter survived the shooting, they say that day changed her life.
A lot of those kids actually that day, in my opinion, stopped being kids that day.
I'm Ivan Rodriguez reporting.
Now we're sending our condolences to the families impacted by this tragedy, and of course, we'll continue to share information as investigations continue.
During the Parkland school shooter's penalty phase, a group of grieving mothers, fathers, siblings, cousins, and friends delivered victim impact statements through tears to the jury.
Listen to me, defender. I am broken. All of us. Now we are broken.
You're making the mental health crisis in America worse by misrepresenting what actually happened to the Parkland murderer.
The defense case convinced 3 of 12 penalty phase jurors life was the appropriate punishment for shooting and killing 17 Marjorie Stoneman Douglas staff and students on Valentine's Day 2018. In Florida, a choice of death must be unanimous. Shooter Nicholas Cruz received his life sentence this afternoon.
Just ahead, help from overseas, how other countries are helping combat one U.S. shortage.
Plus, the possibility of a costly Thanksgiving, what market research is predicting next.
Riding the bus is an easy thing to do. Last year, we carried 60,000 riders from the Ball State area. 50,000 of those were students. Anywhere you want to go, MITS will take you there.
So I just moved in with his family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Welcome back. More infant formula is coming from overseas to be sold in American stores.
That's right. The FDA says Irish company Danone and New Zealand's A2 Milk Company will begin selling some of their products in the U.S. Now, this comes as families with new babies still have trouble finding baby formula. Companies outside the U.S. have been able to sell their products in this country due to the changes the FDA has made to its guidance. Now, because of the baby formula shortage, and then, of course, that's the White House has also sought to give parents more options through Operation Fly Formula, which has imported enough formula to fill nearly 1 billion 8-ounce bottles.
The labor shortage has a lot of businesses struggling to find employees, but a Miami Chick-fil-A owner-operator may have discovered the secret sauce for staffing. Justin Lindsay's recipe for attracting employees was his idea to switch employees from a 3-day, 14-hour work week. Not too long ago, businesses was booming for Lindsay, but his employees were getting burned out. He says some of them were working 70-hour work weeks. So earlier this year, he overhauled the weekly schedules, and he divided his staff of 38 into 2 groups and alternated weekly schedules into 3-day blocks of 13 to 14-hour shifts. Since making the change, Lindsay has been flooded with applications and is seeing a 100% retention in management.
As inflation pushes the cost of groceries up, there's one item that's less expensive. Avocados are actually down almost 3% from last September. Now, a bumper crop of avocados from Mexico, Australia, and Peru are flooding the market and lowering prices. Now, that should translate into plenty of guacamole for the Super Bowl in February, the biggest day of consumption for those avocados.
Now, Starbucks lovers, Starbucks is unveiling its new holiday cups. It's an annual tradition, and it's in its 25th year. Beginning tomorrow, customers will have their hot beverages served in one of 4 festive cups designs, and that's also the day Starbucks starts serving its holiday drink menu. Now, no new drinks are being added this year, but you can enjoy the usual peppermint mocha or chestnut praline latte. There is a new sweet treat being unveiled, though, a chocolate pistachio swirl roll. Now, market research firm IRI predicts this year's Thanksgiving meal could be about 13.5% more costly than last year. The company compared retail prices to some Thanksgiving foods like turkey and other meat, baking essentials, beverages, and side dishes. Promotions in the coming weeks could help lower the cost, but IRI doesn't expect that to sway prices too heavily. According to an IRI survey, about 38% of consumers expect to pay more for Thanksgiving meals, even though they are planning on buying the same amount of food.
Luckily, though, a new study suggests it could be cheaper to eat out for Thanksgiving this year. Wells Fargo released an analysis of dining out versus cooking at home.
Researchers look at the data from Consumer Price Index and found while inflation had a big impact on both, it has impacted grocery stores more. But dining out will only cost around 6% more. That's because food ingredients make up only a portion of the bill you pay at restaurants.
Now coming up, I am tracking dense fog again tomorrow morning. I'll time that out for you coming up.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think it's just vapor with flavor.
It won't hurt my kid like cigarettes, right?
Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
There's really not even that much nicotine in them, right?
My kid?
My kid knows it's dangerous.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping, maybe even yours.
Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Emotes say a lot, but they can't say it all. Think your guildmate is struggling? Try these dialogue options. Go beyond emotes. Check in with your guildmates at seizetheawkward.org.
Every day,
Millions of people are connecting
and even though we're overcoming obstacles,
watching each other's backs,
and banding together.
we should still make an effort.
We should still make an effort
to get to know each other,
on a deeper level. Father,
cosplayer,
mentor,
actor.
it's time we take a step forward
It's time we take a step forward
Come together
and discover
how accepting our differences
can make us stronger.
Welcome back. The time now is about 9:16, and you're looking outside of campus at Cooper Science. It's a beautiful view of campus tonight.
Yeah, and like we were talking about earlier, I'm sure little robots are
Running
roaming
around. They're enjoying the warm weather too,
Yeah,
right, Alex?
Yeah, right. Jack, what's it looking like out there?
Yeah, so right now we're seeing solid fall temperatures. So we're talking upper 50s, lower 60s right now. So Muncie here is going to be at 55 degrees. Up here in Kokomo, 56. Look at here, Lafayette at 60 degrees right now. Now looking at our current radar, we can see we're pretty clear. We do have these clouds to our east here that are moving out of the way. That's actually part of a low pressure system, and this is just the trailing end of it moving out of the way. It should clear up for those clear conditions tonight. Now looking at our almanac, like I said, we are warmer for this time of year actually. So today's high was 67 degrees. That is 9 degrees warmer than our average high for November 2nd. However, nowhere close to our record high we sit in 2016. However, we take what we can get in November, especially when we're talking upper 60s. So for tonight's forecast, we're going to be at 47 degrees, be mostly clear. However, as you can see, we will be dealing with that fog in the morning. So let's time that out for you here. So we're going to start here at 5 in the morning. As we can see, it's starting to build. I want everybody to pay attention down here in Richmond. As we put this forward, as the morning progressive, look at that, 0.3 miles of visibility in Richmond tomorrow morning. So you really want to take your time. That's really, really dense fog. So you want to put those low beams on, not the high beams. And you want to make sure you have plenty of distance between you and the car in front of you. And obviously take extra time on the road. And then that fog should be gone by noon as that sun comes out and burns off all that fog in the morning. So we'll be starting out 46 in the morning, warming up to a nice high of 72. We'll have plenty of sun with a nice breeze out of the south at 5 miles an hour. Should be very, very nice. However, we have a calm breeze tomorrow. However, for Friday and Saturday, it's going to pick up quite a lot. It's going to be quite gusty. So let's time that out for you as well here. So we're going to stop this here at Friday, 5 p.m. So, right around you're getting off of work, you may be thinking about going to get dinner. It's going to be quite gusty here. I mean, we're looking 19 miles an hour here in Muncie, 22 in Winchester, Marion at 22 miles an hour. So it's just something you want to keep in mind if you're making those Friday plans. So like I said, we're very warm for this time of year. We're well above average. If we're thinking this beige color here is going to be average, and it's just because of these southerly winds pushing up all that warm weather. Now, like I said, it's going to continue. So looking at our mid-7 day, we're going to be dealing with that fog tomorrow, windy conditions. The rain does return for Saturday, and we're back into the high 60s, low 70s for the week ahead. So those robots should have plenty of nice weather to roam around campus.
And you know what? I'll take 70-degree weather. It's not too cold. It's not too hot.
It's beautiful.
It's perfect.
It is.
You see, I'm going to be the opposite here. It's November. I'm about to get my Christmas tree out. I want the colder weather.
Christmas tree.
Yes, I'm one of those. I'm one of those that has my Christmas tree out.
No, you got to have Turkey Day. As soon as Turkey Day is over, Black Friday a little bit, and then Christmas.
I disagree, but I will say this is a good weather to hang those Christmas lights.
It is. You
know
know
what?
what?
Get that decoration out.
There is nothing worse than hanging Christmas lights in the snow.
Cold,
That is true.
exactly.
That is
So
very
now's
true.
the perfect time. So you got to think ahead just a little bit.
And just dropping them and having to find,
It's perfect.
Horror
Yep.
stories I have from that.
Okay.
Not at
All
all.
right. Thank you, Jack.
Thanks so much. Now, in just a couple minutes, it's been a busy week for Ball State Athletics. Jake Garcia has a preview.
Thanks, guys. We check up on one Ball State team starting their season, plus the scores and updates in Ball State athletics. All that and more next in sports.
Here's your sandwich, miss.
Oh, thank you.
And your burger.
Awesome, thank you.
And your bowl of boiling water, sir.
After retiring from the NFL, I've been able to spend a lot more time coaching my daughter's basketball teams. It's something I love to do. Through our games and our tournaments, we see all types of coaching, good and bad. And it begs the question, do we really know who's coaching our kids? Do they have the proper training and screening it would take for me to be comfortable with my daughters playing for that coach? Our Youth Basketball Association made the decision to use trusted coaches to screen and train all of our coaches. I'm a trusted coach. Are you?
So if one cat has 4 kittens who reproduce every 6 months, how many cats will there be in 5 years? Who's got it? Is this... What is that? Seriously? Who threw that?
Cats are terrible at math, but they sure do multiply. Please spay, neuter, and adopt.
The solution is 10. Welcome back to Newslink, Indiana. I'm Jake Garcia with sports. Ball State women's basketball returned to the courts. Newslink, Indiana's Zachary Kendall went to Worthen Arena to talk to the team about their upcoming season.
It's that time of year again. Ball State women's basketball returns to the court for the first time in 7 months, and they haven't missed a step. The Cardinals taking on another Cardinal flock in Wheeling University for an exhibition match in Worthen Arena last night. Ball State able to make light work of their fellow bird foe in an 83-40 victory. Head coach Brady Zally feels that the play of some of his newer Cardinals was key to the win.
It wasn't just like returners that were making these plays. Sydney Bolton, I remember, shot in and stole the ball on roll help. Hannah Mule did the same thing. So these are freshmen that are doing this for the first time with the smell of popcorn in there. And so it was exciting to see those guys get extended minutes and play so damn well.
Even though it was only an exhibition match, senior Anna Cleffin and sophomore Allie Becky are both grateful to be back on the court, but for different reasons.
I mean, it felt great, especially having back all our pieces, almost all our pieces. We're waiting on Stell, but it feels good. It's feels like last year.
Like you said, the work that's been put in is more than I can explain, and so it's just surreal to be back out there, and I'm just ecstatic.
With the season only just beginning and long road still ahead, Coach Zally knows it's important for the players to be invested from the start in order for his squad to get where they want to go.
And it might look different from game to game and matchup to matchup, but as long as the players will buy into what we're doing, then it'll be a strength of ours for sure.
Ball State's first game is set for November 7th as the Cardinals travel to Tennessee Tech to take on the Golden Eagles at 7 p.m. In Muncie, Zachary Kendall, Newslink, Indiana.
Taking things over to the field, Ball State football begins their midweek night Maction games last night. The Cardinals travel to face off against the Kent State Golden Flashes. Ball State starts off slow by allowing Kent State to get an early 13-0 lead, but it is running back Carson Steele coming up clutch once again for the Cardinals. The sophomore finishes with 192 rushing yards and a touchdown to help give Ball State a 27-20 win. The Cardinals will fight for bowl eligibility next Tuesday when they battle against a MAC West foe, the Toledo Rockets. Looking for similar success, Ball State women's soccer is set to make their way to Buffalo on Thursday for the MAC tournament semifinals. The Cardinals take on the Bowling Green Falcons after securing the second seed in the tournament with a regular season victory over Central Michigan. Ball State heads into the matchup with an all-time record of 16-6-5 against the Falcons and will look to make it 17 wins over Bowling Green, led by star players Delaney Caldwell, Avery Fenchel, and Lexi Fraley. The matchup is set for 7:30 p.m. as the Cardinals look to advance to take on the winner of number 1 seed Buffalo versus number 5 seed Miami in the MAC championship. And guys, you got to love the resilience of this Cardinals team as they were able to overcome an early deficit to pull out the win.
Right.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And especially that football game.
Yeah.
You know, starting out, you know,
It was a
what
rough
big
patch
turnaround.
there. It
What a
was.
big
It
turnaround.
was. And you know, it's really exciting time because we have all different sports happening. You mentioned soccer, we have football and basketball starting.
Yep.
So it's the perfect time for sports here at Ball State.
Yeah.
A lot starting up.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
All right, Jake, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. And coming up, Newslink Indiana's Chandler Wooded joins us with your campus coverage.
And we'll have one final look at weather.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Can you help me?
I got it.
Thank you.
No problem.
Just like the rules to surviving Zombieland, there are steps you can take to be prepared for an emergency.
It's the right thing to do.
Talk with your family to make a plan. Look for safe areas to meet up if separated. And stock up on supplies. It's never too early to get prepared. So start now.
Right now? Right now.
You can't predict emergencies, but you can be ready.
You're welcome, America.
Visit ready.gov today to learn more.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago, in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome back to Newslink Indiana. My name is Chandler Whitted, and this is your campus coverage, an event where students compete by responding to geography-based statements in the form of a question. What is GeoJeopardy? Today, Gamma Theta Upsilon put on a Jeopardy fundraiser with questions based on geography concentrations at Ball State. The event followed basic Jeopardy rules, with 3 groups competing to play in the final board. The winner of that board would get $30.
It was one of the more enjoyable events, especially compared to last year. I think that we had a way better turnout than last year. And I think a lot of the students really enjoyed it as well compared to last year.
If you're interested in joining GTU, contact Dr. Ruben Allen or join next year's GeoJeopardy to test your geography knowledge. Listen, I tried my best in that competition, but I was not great, guys.
Oh, wow. It was a bit difficult, huh?
No.
But I think when there's money involved, like $30.
I would probably try a
bad.
little harder. I would get my phone out. Okay,
All right.
Thank you, Chandler.
Thanks so much. And Jack, what are we looking at with weather?
Yeah, so for tomorrow, and so tomorrow we're going to be dealing with that fog in the morning, then that windy conditions for Friday, Saturday. We also have that chance for rain on Saturday, and we should start out the week with the high 60s, low 70s.
Yeah, and perfect sweater weather, I guess you can say, right?
Oh, absolutely. And like I said earlier, I think it's time for me to go outside and get my Christmas decorations and at least starting to decorate the outside of the apartment.
Yeah, and I think it's still kind of appropriate for apple cider and just kind of keeping that theme going.
That fall theme. We'll incorporate that. We'll have some apple cider while we decorate the outside to keep in that fall theme.
Yeah. All right. Hey, thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's all tonight for Newslink Indiana. Be sure to join us again tomorrow night at 9, streaming live on the Newslink Indiana Facebook page.
And for news anytime, anywhere, go to ballstatedaily.com. Have a great night.